By 2030, Indians won't just be tourists or workers, they'll be decision-makers, innovators, and game-changers in some of the world's most powerful nations. From Silicon Valley to the Middle East, Indian influence is growing rapidly. But which countries will be dominated by Indians? Let's find out. Indians are making waves across the globe, whether it's through technology, business, politics, or education. With a massive diaspora of over 35 million, Indians are taking leadership roles, owning businesses, and even shaping government policies in several countries. In this video, we're revealing the top 10 countries that will be dominated by Indians by 2030, not just in numbers, but in power, wealth, and influence. You'll be surprised how much Indian influence is reshaping global societies. 10. Germany. Germany is rapidly becoming a hotspot for Indian talent. With an aging population and a shortage of skilled labor, Germany is opening its doors to qualified professionals, especially engineers, IT specialists, and healthcare workers from India. Thousands of Indian students are also enrolling in German universities, many of whom stay after graduation to contribute to the workforce. By 2030, Indian-origin professionals are expected to hold key roles in research, startups, and industrial innovation. Cities like Berlin and Frankfurt are seeing a rise in Indian communities and tech entrepreneurs. As Germany digitalizes its economy and embraces global talent, Indians will play a central role in shaping its future, socially, economically, and technologically. 9. New Zealand. New Zealand may be small in size, but it's becoming a favorite destination for Indian students and professionals. Indian migrants are now one of the fastest-growing ethnic communities in the country. Indians dominate fields like IT, healthcare, and education, and many are starting small businesses and local ventures. The government's push for skilled immigration is helping Indians move into leadership positions. By 2030, Indians are expected to play a significant role in New Zealand's workforce and political scene. The Indian community is highly educated, culturally active, and deeply integrated into New Zealand society. As this trend continues, Indians will become one of the most influential groups shaping the country's economic and social landscape. 8. Canada. Canada is one of the most immigration-friendly countries, and Indians are taking full advantage. Over 2 million Indo-Canadians now call it home, dominating fields like healthcare, IT, engineering, and real estate. Canadian universities attract thousands of Indian students each year, many of whom stay and become permanent residents. Indians are not just employees. They are entrepreneurs, doctors, professors, and even politicians. By 2030, Indian-origin leaders are expected to hold even more government positions and business roles. Cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary have vibrant Indian communities that shape local culture and economy. With continued high immigration and strong bilateral ties with India, Canada is likely to be deeply influenced by Indian talent and leadership. 7. United Arab Emirates. Indians are the largest expatriate group in the UAE, especially in Dubai, Sharjah, and Abu Dhabi. Traditionally seen in labor roles, Indians are now moving into white-collar professions, business ownership, and executive positions. With over 3.5 million Indians living in the UAE, they dominate retail, construction, healthcare, and tech. As the UAE shifts toward a knowledge-based economy, Indians are leading innovation and management. New visa reforms now allow for longer stays and even permanent residency, which empowers Indians to invest, grow businesses, and influence policy. By 2030, Indians are expected to have major stakes in UAE's economy and social fabric, making them one of the most powerful communities in the country. 6. Australia. Australia is experiencing a major demographic shift, and Indians are at the center of it. They are now the second largest immigrant group in Australia, with strong representation in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Indian professionals dominate healthcare, IT, engineering, and academia. Thousands of Indian students study in Australia every year, often transitioning to permanent residency. Indian-owned businesses are also growing in sectors like real estate, hospitality, and retail. By 2030, Indian influence will be deeply embedded in Australia's economy, universities, and political landscape. Several Indian-origin politicians have already made their mark, and more are expected. As multiculturalism grows, Indian culture, cuisine, and leadership will help redefine the Australian identity. 5. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia hosts over 2.5 million Indian workers, making them the largest foreign group in the kingdom. While many Indians are employed in construction and domestic services, there's a rising shift towards skilled labor in sectors like oil, engineering, healthcare, and IT. With Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 aiming to diversify its economy, Indian expertise is becoming increasingly valuable. New labor reforms and strategic partnerships between India and Saudi Arabia are creating more space for Indians to lead projects and occupy top-tier roles. By 2030, Indians are expected to move beyond labor to leadership, managing companies, leading technology transfers, and driving economic reforms. Their long-standing presence ensures a strong future influence. 4. United Kingdom. Indians have a long and historic relationship with the UK, but their modern-day influence is stronger than ever. Over 1.8 million people of Indian origin live in the UK, dominating sectors such as healthcare, law, finance, and retail. Rishi Sunak, the first British Prime Minister of Indian descent, is a clear sign of rising Indian power. Indian-owned businesses like Tata and Infosys are making waves in the UK economy. By 2030, Indian-origin professionals will be more present in parliament, media, universities, and boardrooms. British Indians are also shaping arts, fashion, and culture. The combination of education, wealth, and political engagement makes the Indian community one of the UK's most powerful ethnic groups. 3. Singapore. Singapore is a global hub for technology, finance, and innovation, and Indians are taking center stage. Indian-origin professionals dominate the tech, banking, education, and healthcare sectors. Many top executives in major companies are Indian, and several Indian-origin ministers have served in the government. Singapore's close economic ties with India are strengthening, and with its focus on meritocracy, Indians are excelling rapidly. By 2030, Indian entrepreneurs and professionals will likely be among the top influencers in the country. Indian culture, food, and festivals are also a strong part of Singaporean life. With high integration, success, and education levels, the Indian community is set to dominate multiple aspects of Singaporean society. 2. United States. The US is witnessing a powerful surge of Indian influence. Indian Americans are among the highest-earning and most educated ethnic groups. They dominate Silicon Valley, with CEOs like Sundar Pichai, Google, and Satya Nadella, Microsoft, being prime examples. Indians are also leading in medicine, academia, and law. The Indian American population has crossed 4.5 million, and by 2030, this number, and its impact, will be much higher. Indian-origin politicians, including U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, represent growing political power. With continued immigration, Indian students, tech experts, and investors will shape America's future. By 2030, the U.S. may see even more Indian-origin billionaires, senators, and possibly a presidential candidate of Indian descent. 1. Mauritius. Mauritius is already a country dominated by Indians. Nearly 70% of the population is of Indian origin. Descendants of Indian laborers brought during the 19th century, Indo-Mauritians now control almost every aspect of the nation, from politics to business. The current Prime Minister, cabinet ministers, and many top officials are of Indian descent. Indian festivals, language, food, and customs are part of daily life in Mauritius. As the country continues to develop its tourism and financial sectors, Indians will remain at the forefront. By 2030, Mauritius will not only retain Indian dominance but will likely strengthen it through increased trade, education, and diplomatic ties with India. It's the ultimate example of Indian influence abroad.